Let's see. I don't think it's actually working. Oh, shit. There we go. Oh, fuck. That was a problem. Oops. I guess I had it unlisted for some reason. Maybe I should start again. Hey, what's going on? I had this on for a few minutes and I'm like, what's going on? And unfortunately, I guess I had everything. I guess everything was private for some reason, so nothing was working, but hopefully it's actually working now. I don't know. Maybe I should restart over again since that just happened. But I guess if we can get in some people, I'll live stream, I suppose. Just to poop on the game. Let's listen to some ASMR while we wait. Leon the Beastie. Hey man, hope you're healthy. Oh boy. No, definitely. I don't have anything good new health-wise to say. I just, I was in the hospital today. And, I know I got an MRI back, last Friday. I got some kind of cyst growing in my brain now. So I gotta get that checked out. And, I don't know, more bad news, I guess, but just depends on how bad of news I guess it is. But we'll see about that, I guess. Double Beast, what's going on, dude? How you doing? We should look at. Here's a very terrible picture of this. Look at this right here. Let's say it. Jesus Christ, what is this going on? Is this working? Chilling right now. I saw this stupid thing from Obama, which I thought was ridiculous. Hopefully that cyst does not pose more of a problem than its existence already brings. Yeah, so obviously I've done MRI stuff before, but I've never had it before. So I'm wondering how it happened, although again I've been very sick since last summer. I was quotation marks accidentally given a shot I was not supposed to, and I ended up in urgent care, and I've been having a lot of even more health problems than normal. I got an infection that kept spreading, and my body couldn't fight it off. It spread to my eardrums. It ruptured my eardrums. I got all the nerves damaged, and I've been having really bad vertigo now, and collapsing, and it's not good. So they did a brain MRI, and they said there's a cyst in my brain now too. So I tried to look it up. How does one get a cyst in their brain? But I guess if you get a bad infection, you can get a cyst in your brain apparently. So I don't know if it's because of that, or now if I wanted to be super negative, I've had a tumor before that they thought was a cyst, but then it kept growing and they found out it was a tumor. But hopefully that is not the case, but I'm sure that I will have to I'm sure I'll have to get that checked on to make sure it's not a brain tumor, I guess. But we'll see how that goes, I guess. What are you gonna do, right? Anyway, that's life, though. What are you gonna do? Taiwan has better healthcare, but the language barrier may be an issue for something like this. Oh, geez, I don't know anything about Taiwan. I don't know anything about that. It's funny because I was trying to get. I wrote in my videos, I said in my videos that I really was trying to do a study abroad thing in Japan. I thought it might be a good kind of thing to experience, but they would not let me with my health issues. They wouldn't give me a visa, so that got canceled. And I guess maybe it's a good thing it got canceled, because can you imagine if I went to Japan this year and, geez, right when I get there I collapse and, all this other kind of shit. That would be very, not good situation, I'm sure. So, whatever. What are you going to do, I guess? I don't know. I'd probably be more upset about it, but I mean, I've already had such terrible luck health-wise. Just another thing, I guess. Anyway, 2XKO. The failure of 2XKO. Like I said, I couldn't believe I saw this from Obama. Like, why do people feel bad? These people got paid for 10 years, which they also lied about, remember? They tried to say it wasn't 10 years. Now that they got fired, they're like, oh, I can't believe you would fire me after 10 years. Even though this whole time they've been saying, no, the game hasn't been being made for 10 years. No, the game's only 6 years old. It was only it was 1v1 for a couple years. In the past 4 years, it's been a tag team game. The game is not 10 years old. Now you got all these motherfuckers getting fired, and they're like, I can't believe you fired me after 10 years. So it's like you just played yourself. You just admitted that you were lying. Ridiculous. And then, to feel bad for them, oh, they work so hard. What did you do for 10 years? What did you fucking do for 10 years? I think you could probably take some random people from a forum, Reddit, 4chan, whatever the fuck it is. You don't think random people could come up with special moves in 10 years for 10 characters? You already have the characters in League of Legends. You just, what are you talking about? You couldn't do that? And you got to remember, if you looked at the press note, it said that they're still going to pay these motherfuckers for 6 months, even though they fired them. So they got paid for 10 years, which they lied about. They lied about getting paid for 10 years. They lied and they said it was only 6 years, whatever the fuck it was. And they're going to get another 6 months for free when their game has failed miserably. It's full of bugs. Every fucking interview is another fucking cope talking about how terrible the game has done. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, these people, they're such babies. And it's amazing the people that will defend these people are the people that try to say that I'm some huge narcissist. While they complain about getting paid for 10 years and that they only get 6 months for free. Saw the halving announcement today. Crazy. Yeah, so I looked at, so they lost half the people are getting fired. But like I said, it's very strange because if you look at it, it's a lot of like the actual developers of the game, but for some reason, like Yohose, even though they had an interview where they purposely threw Yohose under the bus, which made no sense to me. Because I even said, even though I don't give a fuck about Yohose, I'm like, I don't think this is Yohose's fault. I'm pretty sure this is everybody's fault, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm listening to ASMR in the background, right? And I'm like, this isn't just Yohose's fault. This is a team effort. 2XKO is a team effort in its failure. Why would you just blame Yohose? So I thought it was funny that they purposely blame Yohose, yet then Yohose is the one person that wasn't fired. Like, can anyone explain that? Doesn't that seem kind of strange? It's fucking weird, dude. But yes, it's Chinese ASMR in the background. Pat the Flip is the same guy that wrote a blog post saying that if you held different political views than him, then you are morally intolerable and you should not be allowed to be a part of the X art scene. I would not be surprised if he said that. He's a fucking idiot. If you could feel free to post that in the chat if you want. We can laugh at what an idiot that guy is. Again, that guy, I'm not surprised he's fired when, I mean, you know, that's another guy that will try to tell you I'm a huge narcissist, but right on his own page, his own like title for himself is about what a great fighting game sage he has done, and that he would suggest that you donate to him $19.99 to read about his posts. And I was like, what the fuck? He literally has like a donation link. He's like, I'm not telling you to donate to me, but I am a great fighting game sage and you should donate $19.99 to me to listen to me talk about games. And I was like, what the? This motherfucker will tell you that I'm a narcissist. He has that right on his front page. Come on, man. Fucking ridiculous. And of course, you know, he was saying, oh, Clayton could never do what I've done for 2XKO. It's such an amazing game. And he was saying this back when the game was 1 versus 1. I'm like, your game is so amazing it got canceled, dude. Come on. Give me a fucking break, dude. And then he also lied, trying to say like, oh no, the game's not actually 10 years old. Now he got fired. Now he's saying it is 10 years old. And like I said, I can't believe, like, I don't know who is in charge of like PR with the game, but they should have just hired somebody specifically to do interviews for the game. Because, I mean, did you see like even the interviews with Pat where like they're asking him like, hey, you said this game was going to be like simple, but it's really complicated. And he's like, oh, well, don't worry that it's like complicated and you don't get it because, you know, even people on the own team, we don't know how to play because I keep, you know, deciding that I don't like how the game plays, so I keep changing everything. So we get confused how to play too. Like, that was a real fucking public interview. And I'm like, why the fuck would you admit that in public 8 years into development of the game that people on the team don't know how to play yet? Because you keep changing everything. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Why would you say that? And then he like basically insults like Riot And he's like, yeah, I left my super stable job to work for the humble company Riot, and it's very hard because we have to do so much, without a lot of help or whatever the fuck he said. And I'm like, how the fuck would you post that? You know what I mean? And it's like, how the fuck, like, if I was like in charge of League of Legends or Riot, I would have been infuriated reading his posts. Like, you're saying that we don't give you enough money at Riot? Like, why would you post that? You've been working on the game for 10 years, dude, and you make a post basically insinuating that we're not giving you enough money and you have to work too hard. Like, I was like, and then those one posts, dude, those one posts where they had to pretend. They're like, yeah, it's so hard to make this game because we had no special moves to go off of. All the characters didn't have anything, so we had to come up with our own special moves, and that was very difficult. And I was like, dude, League of Legends is a game. The special moves that you guys have in the game right now are special moves that are in League of Legends. You didn't make it all up by yourselves. Like I said, I would be infuriated if I was like the actual designer of the League of Legends characters to hear about a bunch of ungrateful fighting game community players start having public interviews that we're not giving them enough money, that they have to work too hard, and then them saying that they had to come up with every special move ourselves because Riot wouldn't help us with any special moves. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how, like, the audacity to, like, have interviews like that. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, no, so let me go back to where we are. Oh, $20. Who just donated $20? Let me see that. What is that? Oh, Stoic Nomad, $20. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate the support. It does help. My channel still gets flagged, so I don't really get to make much off of YouTube besides when people donate. So I actually do really appreciate the support. Thank you, dude. But let me go back. Yeah, but if you have that Pat the Flip comment, I haven't seen Pat the Flip say that. Or maybe I did, but I just chalked it up to another retarded thing he said. But if you have the link to him saying that as well, by all means, post it here and we can laugh about him saying something else stupid. Oh, where are we? Guess we know why it's called Project L. Bold to assume anyone is in charge of PR. That's what I'm saying. Come on, dude. Like, even if, okay, obviously I have my own qualms with the development team, but even saying that, I've told you guys to play the game. I've told you guys to give the game a chance, all right? I haven't told anyone not to, but those interviews for the game are so bad. Like, even if you're friends with you know what I would have said if I was in charge of the game? Like, and I would have been like, you know what? I would have been like, here, like, let me just like try to like theorize if someone was, Clayton, you're developing 2XKO. Instead of saying that stupid shit where they're like, we had to come up with all the special moves ourselves because we had nothing to go off of. I would have been like, yo, dude, League of Legends is a huge game. And I'm so lucky that we already have this template of the character to go off of. And now it is my job to turn those special moves into special moves that work in a fighting game. Like, that would have been fine for an interview, right? But their interview said they had to come up with everything. And it's just so fucking insulting. If someone said that about something that I designed, it just sounds so fucking ungrateful and just trying to make themselves sound like the hero. It just is ridiculous. It's so stupid. Oh yeah, so if you can't find the link, or maybe post the link but put a space in it if the link won't work or something like that. Where are we? Clayton, how would this happen when the greatest minds that disagree this? Yeah, exactly, right? So how is this game supposed to work? We don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, how do you have public interviews where you got a guy that on his page is saying that he's some great fighting game sage? On his front page, He suggests that you donate to him $19.99 to read about him talking about video games. And then in a public interview, he says, don't worry, I'm paraphrasing whatever the exact quote was. Watch the interview again. He's like, don't worry that the game is confusing because even people on the own team don't know how to play because I keep changing everything. How the fuck is that supposed to make the person coming into the game feel good? Like that, I don't think that does. Like, it's like, what do you mean? You've been working on the game for 8 years at this point. You mean people on the own development team don't know how to play yet? Yeah, they don't because I keep changing everything. So don't worry. We're all learning. Like that does not exude confidence in your product, dude. Come on. Peter Q3W. Hey Clayton, just wanted to say love the fighting game lectures, enjoying the different perspective. And yeah, you called the demise of the game a long time ago. And I said this before, dude. I've told everybody to play the game. I've told everybody to give my haters a chance. Even if they talk shit about me, you know what? We can all learn something from somebody else. I've said so many times before, why do I know so much about fighting games? Because I will watch people even if they're supposed to be bad. If there is a chance for me to learn something new about something I enjoy, I will give someone bad even a chance, right? You have to be able to do that if you want to know more about something. You can't always assume that you know everything, right? And that's why this game has actually failed, because you have all these people that, we're the greatest minds in fighting game history. Well, you all like the same fucking thing. Like I said this before, isn't it funny that 2XKO doesn't even have a Shoto character? No, I'm not saying that everyone should like Ryu, Ken, Akuma, whatever it is. But it's like, how are you supposedly making the greatest fighting game of all time and you can't even have a Shoto character in it? It's because these people only like one perspective of fighting games, dude. You are never going to make the greatest fighting game of all time when, you think that you already know everything. It's ridiculous. I mean, most people could see the writing on the wall, to be frank. You say that, but look how hard people were shilling the game. I mean, there was just that Theory Fighter video recently. I mean, that dude's supposed to be like a galaxy brain or some shit. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, there's no objective argument for why there should be motions in a fighting game. And it's like, you can't think of one objective argument for why there should be a motion in a fighting game. You can't think of one objective argument now for why there should ever be a motion input in a fighting game? I mean, come on, dude. Ridiculous. So fucking insulting. 2X corny. They have nothing to work with off of yet. Clearly use the special moves. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, how insulting, dude. Why would you have an interview? Like, they're trying to make it seem like they're struggling so bad. It's like, yeah, it's been so hard to make this game for whatever that interview was. Was that interview 9 months or 9 years into the game? And they're like, it's been so hard to make this game because we have nothing to work off of. None of these characters have any special moves or anything. So we all have to make it from scratch. And I read that and I'm like, Jesus, who the fuck approved this interview? Why the fuck is that a public interview saying that? All you had to say was something simple and be like, League of Legends has so many characters and there's so many special moves. And now it is my job to turn these special moves in this game into special moves in a fighting game. You don't have to say that you came up with everything. Like, again, you want to say that I'm a narcissist and yet you have public interviews of the team talking like that. It's so ridiculous, dude. Where are we now? Oh, I saw a message detracted. Sorry, I'm going through everything. Again, thanks to Stoic Nomad 22 for the donation. If anyone else ever wants to donate to the channel, it does help. I'll talk in a Pikachu voice, or if you want, I don't know. Nevius YTube. I'll try to post a link to the cringy Path to Flip article if YouTube. Yeah, just put a space in it maybe, or Toasty 862. I'm not giving 2XKO a chance. That's your prerogative, but again, I'm just saying I've never told anyone don't play the game, you know, so. Rock Guitar Shred. Man, I'm not playing that shit. I gave the game a chance. Super whack, man. Just absolutely not as fun as Marvel vs. Capcom or any other AAA fighter. Maximus8931. Careful, Clayton. Don't go using common sense. It'll ruin a chance of creating a BS sub. Sorry, you're right. Had to come up with everything. So, like, you had to do some work, right? Aren't you guys crazy? Yeah, it's like, why would you say that, dude? It's so... I mean, like I said, I wonder if that's why they were fired. You know what I mean? I do wonder if that, because how the fuck do you have a person that's your lead designer trying to come up with interviews and saying that? You know, if I was like watching that like high above my ivory tower of Riot or whatever, I would have been like, if this game fails, you're the first motherfucker getting fired for saying that. I've paid you for 10 fucking years and you've done jack shit. And now you're telling me that it's taken this long because you had no special moves and you had to come up with all the characters all by yourself. I would have been like, oh, this dude is going on the list. He's getting, first chance I get, this motherfucker is getting fired. Like the absolute audacity to say that in a public interview when I have paid you for 10 years. Yeah, the rude and evil Clayton schooling them on basic etiquette. Seriously, dude. Forcing all types of players to use Special 1 and Special 2 is a FGC warm crime. Yeah, you know, the thing is, I've said this before too. I'm not totally against the idea of just a special button per se, because I've said this before. I actually think, although I don't, again, and this goes exactly what I say. Even if you don't like something, if you want to know more about the hobby or the medium you enjoy or the genre, you need to be able to appreciate stuff. I don't care about BlazBlue, right? But you know what BlazBlue does have? I think the drive button in BlazBlue is actually really awesome, because I think it makes every player of every skill kind of feel like they're doing something special with the character. And I think that's a great sort of innovation for BlazBlue, right? Again, do I like BlazBlue? I don't give a fuck about BlazBlue. But as somebody that can actually appreciate fighting games, I don't hate the drive button of BlazBlue. I think it's well done. Now, this game having 2 special buttons is just kind of like, what is the point of this? That's ridiculous, right? I mean, you lost me now, right? And especially you want to say, oh, this game is, you know, for simple, or this game is for everybody. It's for players just to pick up. I'm like, dude, I've been in the quotation marks game of fighting games for years. When I looked at a fucking 2x KO combo, I was confused. And I play fighting games. Play, quotation marks, right? Play, but you know, how is a newbie supposed to get this? It's ridiculous. It's an odd quote when you take into account the game is supposed to be easy. I told everyone that this game had a huge opportunity to corner the market if Tokon sucked. Miraculously, Tokon sucked. Then 2XKO shit the bed with opportunity. So I've said this before. I don't totally agree with that. I think right now, as a matter of fact, Tokon is doing exactly what 2XKO said it was going to do. Well, besides take the fighting game community by storm, made by the greatest minds in history. I think, at least from the briefing, what would you call it? The press briefing of, say, 2XKO, how one of the points of it was to bring in a casual audience and make a casual audience feel like they're doing something cool right away. I think Tokon has actually done well with that, right? Because Tokon is simpler, right? And so I think Tokon is actually doing the sort of tag team game sort of idea, while sort of being quotation marks more simple. You know, I think they're kind of doing what 2XKO said they were going to do. Do you get what I'm getting at? Not in terms of made by the greatest minds in fighting game history or taking the fighting game by storm, but in terms of being accessible to a new player. Tokon has succeeded. And if you can argue that, by all means, we can argue that. But I think Tokon has succeeded right now. And I've said before, I think Tokon does have some ideas that I think can be fleshed out. Will they be fleshed out? I don't know. But I think Tokon does actually have a bit of a new perspective potentially. And so Tokon is more interesting to me, actually. Unrelated, but that dude, Majin Obama, spelled that word in his username. Romanized version is Tatakai, not Tatakai. What did he say? Let me look at Tatakai Tuesday. Oh, maybe that's just I don't remember what this show is, what exactly he does. I don't actually watch Majin Obama, so I don't know. It's again, this gets people mad. I had no idea who Majin Obama was until Mike Boy told me. I think Mike Boy has very randomly come into the chat, but I had no idea who Majin Obama was before Mike Boy even told me. And then he had told me all those years ago that Obama would talk about me on streams and that he was a big fan of mine. And so then I was in Japan and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do an interview with you. And then, God, he was a shady motherfucker. He got really mad at me that I didn't want to help him make all this money. And I'm like, dude, I'm just in Japan to hang out. I'm not here to help you make money, motherfucker. What are you talking about? So whatever. It's not surprising that Obama would post about trying to make more people in the community money because that's the most important thing to them. So that's not surprising to me. I think the modern audience look has factored into 2XKO's failures. Nobody buys shit that looks like that. You mean in terms of graphic quality or? Man, that comment drove me to drink. What are we talking about? Last time I trust a British guy in fighting games. Bring back motion inputs. Oh, the Theory Fighter. I mean, that just seems, again, I don't know Theory Fighter. Again, I've said this so many times before. Watch my haters. Watch people who hate me. If you want to know more about video games, if you want to know more about your hobby, don't be afraid to watch somebody that you're afraid to watch. Even somebody bad, you might be able to be like, you know what, this guy sucks, but maybe there's something I might learn from him. So, Theory Fighter, if you like Theory Fighter, you can watch Theory Fighter. That's fine. But, to be a supposed galaxy brain and then to say that you can't think of one objective reason why there's motion inputs in a fighting game, I mean, you kind of lost all credibility there. I mean, come on, dude. Bring back motion inputs. Where are we? I'm sorry. I try to read every comment, so I apologize. Yeah, such an arrogant statement. The people that actually have made the greatest fighting games of all time are deeply humble and just wanted to make something cool for fans. So I've said that before. Look at Street Fighter 2. Super Turbo. It's a boiling pot of everyone putting in their ideas and trying to make it work. Let's say it like this: if I was making a fighting game, and for some reason, there's got to be perspectives that aren't my own. Of course, I would want a guy that tends to like tag team games probably try to help me with the game, right? But would I want my entire team to consist of somebody that only likes tag team games? No. Right? How are you going to make the greatest fighting game of all time if I'm only just going to have people that like tag team games? It makes no sense. And then, of course, the interviews where they say like, yeah, we don't want our game to have degenerate mix-up or have touch of death combos. So why the fuck did you make it a tag team game? Why did you hire people that just play tag team games? Well, like, what the fuck are you doing? It's stupid. Motion inputs are fighting games. They deserve to fail for that alone. I just think look at charge characters versus motion characters. There's an objective argument. You can have a different play style because of charge. That's an objective argument right there. Simple. If you want to get deeper, look at the example I gave of mash throws in Super Turbo. Say if Guile is being hit by a mash throw. Now Guile has an option of, do I want to mash out of the throw or do I want to charge for my flash kick? There's an objective argument. That is not possible without motion inputs. That adds a discrepancy between a motion character and a charge character. That's simple. That's not rocket science. Come on. Motion inputs are important for fighting. Beefy Canucci, I know you post sometimes. Aren't you making a fighting? Are you the person that posts on my channel sometimes? Aren't you making a fighting game? I forget. I know there's some people that actually come into my channel sometimes and they're making a fighting game. They say, are you the person that's making a fighting game? I forget. If you're not, I apologize. No use for motion inputs, and they release the game with the worst button scheme I've ever experienced. Shit genuinely pissed me off. At least Invincible game goes in over... Wait. At least the Invincible game goes in not over analyzing shit. Say that again? I mean, the Invincible game has that fucking Hope motherfucker working on it. I can't believe that fucking idiot put on their resume that they came up with all this Kai shit and they got hired. And then they forgot to delete their old post saying that I came up with everything. Unfucking believable. Ridiculous. Tori Burb. Thankfully, 2XKO taught us one thing. Motion inputs are an essential part of fighting games, not only for balancing special moves, but also for making the flow of the controls intuitive. Yes, I agree. Archetypes are like 60% done, at least design-wise. Yes, that's why I've said before that it's not very often that you can actually make new archetypical characters. And that's why I say that Dragon Ball FighterZ is such a drop ball, because the system allowed a new archetype character. You can now have a character that goes off of the meta of the tug of war of Fireball versus Homing, Dashing, and Reflect, right? So because of that, there is a new potential archetype of a fighting game character, which is not always possible. And that is one of the reasons that Dragon Ball FighterZ is a failure, because from a design perspective, because they had an opportunity to do something new that is not possible in any other game. And they should have done that, right? And I've said this before, Tokon is also an example that could potentially have a new character archetype because of the way the wall works in that game specifically. So I would like for Tokon to hopefully go the route of having a new archetype character, whatever, that can play off the unique wall dynamic in the game. And I've made videos about it, but we'll see if that actually happens. Not nope. Message retracted. Sorry, I don't know what you said. Again, I'm trying to go through every comment, so I'm behind. They also barely had any actual passives from League in 2XKO. What do you mean by that exactly? Give me an example. Maestro of Chaos, would you rather play Dragon Ball Z Tasiku? I don't know what that is. I have no idea. What? Dragon Ball Z Tasiku. I don't know what that is. Maestro of Chaos, the as of right now worst fighting game of all time. Toasty862. I honestly think the firings are just the industry stranger. The game is out, 9% of the team is fired now. Well, supposedly they fired a lot of people that are actually in charge of designing the characters. So, but like I said, one of the only people not fired was Yohose, which is very strange to me, since Yohose is one of the people that they specifically mentioned in an interview that should get the blame for the balance of the game, which I thought was again, I don't like Yohose, but I thought that seemed very inappropriate to blame Yohose for the balance of the game in a public interview, when the balance of the game and the bugs you would think are the team's fault. Unless I'm wrong, by all means, if there's one of the team members watching right now, by all means, post in the chat, why is the balance only Yohose's fault and not yours as well? Like I said, I couldn't believe that they posted that in an interview. That was pretty shameful. It's hard for me, because, I've said this before too. I have a friend that he worked on the Red Dead Redemption game. Do you know what that game is? It's like a cowboy game, right? And me and him, we went out to dinner, and he was telling me about the game. And even though his part of the job was already done, he's like, I got nothing to do at work, but they still pay me. So he's like, what do I do? He's like, I'm like a uncredited bug tester right now, he basically told me. And he's like, so what I do is I just play the game all the time at work. He's like, I've already done my job, but I keep getting paid until the game is actually finished, he told me. So what I do, he's like, I just play the game for free. And if I find a bug, like I'm kind of like a unpaid bug tester, he told me. So I don't know how things work at Riot, but you know, he worked on the Red Dead Redemption game, whatever that fuck thing is, you know what that is. Oh, I tried posting a link with spaces, but YouTube just knows it. If you Google Pat the Flip, is it worth teaching? It should be the first result. Okay, I'll have to look at that. Let me copy and paste this. Pat the Flip, is it worth teaching? All right, 1 second while I try to read this, I guess, if we're... Oh, dear Lord. And what did he say that was stupid in the interview? I'll try to find it. What did he say? Give me the quote, and I'll search it and I'll read it. Where are we? Excuse me. Sorry. The full article, is it worth teaching old fighting games to new players, on Medium? Is this Twitter? UI looks different. I think it's because it's black. What's wrong with Token? I haven't followed it at all. Currently, it needs to be... I would say the combo system needs to be a little bit more lenient, and I need to see some more characters. It's a little too strict for now, but unlike other people, I do see a potential new perspective for it. So I don't totally hate it yet. I think there is potential. So I'm not going to totally hate on it. I'm going to give it a little bit of room to breathe before I give all of my opinions on it. Yeah, definitely see your point. I just don't see anyone feeling like they're doing something cool. Newbies right. Perhaps I'm wrong, but I think Token needs to commit to one identity. My thing with the make it easy to do cool things immediately standpoint, every MVC games and MVC like game has allowed you to do this since the beginning. Is Token one of the better team fighters you've played? Oh, I haven't played Token. I was just giving a potential perspective on Token, saying that I don't think Token has actually failed yet. I see, again, a potential new perspective on Token. So I will withhold judgment until I get a little bit more footage and see how it continues to be fleshed out. Yo, since when does Clayton go live? Not very often. Not very often, Jared. Jared, I don't go live. Jared, things are bad in the FGC. If you only knew how bad things were, you better donate to the channel, motherfucker. There's no excuse for 2XCO saying that. I actually hope this game doesn't die for a few months. I'd like to 100% the achievements before it dies and becomes an unobtainable 100%. Okay, I see what you're saying there. To support the point, I saw Kyo's OTG property in CVS 2 watching casuals play the game, and it made me explore it in the game with other combos. Absolutely. Hyper Fighting, ST, Alpha 2, GG, MVC 2, whole MVC series, legacy games of people trying to do something cool and make it work. Pocket Fighters. They were mashing and accidentally did it in a match. Pocket Fighters is so damn fun. Very well put. I made a fighting game in Mugen once. Does that count? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'll give you an asterisk mark. 2 skill buttons is the most weird decision ever. Yeah, you are already better than the Project L team. Yeah, I do that from time to time. I'm slowly making one. Okay, I was going to say, I think you were the person that said that they were working on something. Flex Draco, I can't see what you posted, sorry. I was watching the trials of this game, and holy shit, all the combos are the same partial charge BS. Partial charge? Partial charge. In 2XKO, partial charge? What? Oof, they got your haters inside the dev teams of all these new games. Yeah, that's unfortunate what happens when you get made into the boogeyman or he who should not be named of any community. Yeah. Knew this was going to fail from the moment they hired all the FGC people. You know, I mean, here's the thing. People will say that some people are saying that this is what happens when you hire FGC people. I would say it happens when you hire, again, only one subset of FGC people. Why would you not want someone that likes fighting games to work on fighting games? I don't think that's weird. I would assume everyone in this channel watching right now, wouldn't you like to have the opportunity to work on a fighting game, assuming it's a fighting game that you like, right? The problem is 2XKO hired a team of people that only like one type of fucking fighting game. That's the fucking problem. You know, just like when you think about these new games, you're hiring people that like one specific play style, that they can't think outside of their own echo chamber. It's not the problem that you have people that like fighting games making fighting games. You would hope that if somebody likes a fighting game, they're working on a fighting game. But it has to be somebody that doesn't have like just one laser focus to one thing that they like. And if you do hire somebody that's like that, it better not be a team that's only like that, right? That's why I said so many times before, I tend to like one kind of character. But when you actually see me do my game theory videos, guess what? I make game theory videos about all different types of characters because I like just the genre, period, right? I can appreciate different perspectives. That's the difference. Vita Fighters, a mobile game, has more heart and soul than this game and also plays better than 2XKO. This is proof that 2XKO is nothing more than a waste of money. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see how much money 2XKO wasted. I mean, God, ridiculous. Excuse me. If motion inputs are everything, City of the Wolves wouldn't be dead. Hope you're doing well, Clayton. Good luck out there. Oh, Doc Brown, things are not good in the Clay Nation. To add to my comment, Street Fighter 2 pretty much has two types of buttons. I mean, kicks, punches. I hope Tokon will do something cool too, but ArcSys already made wall mechanics lame in Strive. I hope they learn from the mistake. I think the wall already looks more interesting in Tokon, so. City of the Wolves is dead because it's bare bones, in my opinion. Bootleg AES with net play functionalities. How the fuck did it take them 10 years to make 5 characters? I mean, my favorite part about that too is that they kept lying about how long that the game was being made. No, the game's not 10 years old. No, the game's not 10 years old. Now all these people are getting fired. I can't believe you fired me when I worked on this game for 10 years. What were you doing for 10 years? You got paid for 10 years. Oh my God. And you're still going to get paid for 6 months, it says, after they fired your fucking incompetent ass. Ridiculous. Passive in leagues are traits specifically for that character in league. Where did she get mentioned for that balance? I'd like to see that. I had a video about it. I think it was called 2XKO, The Cannibalism Has Started. I think that was the name of the video. And there's an interview where they start blaming Yohose for all the balance of the game and that if there's any problems with the game to talk to them about it. And I was like, why the fuck would you say that? Like, that's pretty rude. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's probably a team effort. I'm pretty sure it's not just their fault. Like, fuck Yohose, but kind of weird just to blame them, right? Throwing your coworker under the bus isn't a good look. I can believe Yohose contributed bad balance, but ain't no way that the bad balance is all on one person, yeah. Chat, does 2XKO count as a hate crime? Yes. LOL. Was 2XKO... crap, where is it? Was 2XKO canceled? It's not canceled yet, but it's on life support. They've fired half of the members of the team. Amazing question. I do not have an answer. Shill's on S-Watch. City of the Wolves isn't dead. It's just all the FG influencers have tried to virtue signal and say the game's bad because of Saudi money. I played City of the Wolves for a while, but felt icky inside. Why? Because of the Saudi thing? City of the Wolves is definitely dead. Who the fuck plays that shit? If recent ArcSys games weren't the way they were, I don't think people would be worried, to be honest. Specifically Strive, I guess. Give me 1 minute. I need to take some medicine and get some more water. Time out. We have returns. Okay. Where are we? FTC on NBC. Sure, but it's essentially the lack of content in City of the Wolves and the general polish of the software. Oh no, man. Oh no. People are calling it the Concord of fighting games. I don't know. Playing a game makes you feel icky. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've talked about City of the Wolves. I mean, I think the game looks ugly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's more interesting than Street Fighter 6, but it was still disappointing to me. I'm just, you know what? I understand that maybe the combos are fun for a little bit, but again, I'm over EX moves. And that was one of the things when I saw the game. I was like, God, I hope one of the gimmicks is just not EX move into EX move. Please, please don't have that be this game's drive rush. And then it ended up being the game's drive rush. Oh, I was like, God damn it. I'm so tired of EX move to EX move. I'm like, please tell me this is not going to be the gimmick of the game. And it was. And it just kind of, I don't know, just kind of wears a little thin. I mean, I wouldn't mind if I had the game. I'd probably make a combo video with Jay Hoon just because I think he looks cool. But I don't know. What are you going to do? City of Wolves is the best reason to fight a game. Go touch grass. Clayton, Valentine's is coming up. What do I do? I don't know. Do you have a cute girl? Do you have a cutie patootie? A waifu? He means holding buttons for normals. You charge the specials, but partially. Concord, but it actually has good gameplay. The dev's just a greedy a-holes. Employing all the FGC people should have already been a red flag. Those characters should have already been in the game. Partial charge, as in some loot combo pass in Street Fighter 5. Yeah, that's why I'm getting confused. What game are we talking about? I'm thinking of like charge partitioning or something like Street Fighter 3 or something. I'm getting confused what we're talking about now. How many times are fight game devs going to pander to the same old pros and content creators and expect different results? 2SKO doesn't even have its own consistent style. It's just FGC culture, the game. That face when these pros just want a move and combo game mix-up. Newsflash, Sagem and Maximilian, dude, liking your fighting game and chilling it doesn't equate to success. It equates to them getting sponsorship money. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even made the video about it yet, but I saw there was some video about Maximilian basically saying everything I've said about Street Fighter 6 now. Like, he even says it's like a game made for robots, like I said, and how it's all about frame data, and that before Street Fighter 5, no one ever had to check their phone to look at the frame data, and now all these games are just made for robots and are homogenized. And I'm like, did you literally just copy and paste what I say in all my videos now? Like, what the fuck is this? What is this interview with you right now? And I'm like, the audacity of you who shills all these games about how amazing they are, and now you're talking about the game and you're like quoting what I said and you're saying it's what you've always said. I'm like, does anyone believe this fucking motherfucker? Like, fuck that asshole. Jesus Christ. What an idiot. Oh my God. Ugh. My brain. It's hurting. You know what? How about that? I mean, I haven't made a video about it. You know, I got that brain cyst growing now. I'm going to, you know what? If I die from this brain cyst, please tell everyone that Maximilian gave me the brain cyst. And that's why I died. That would be like all these years in the fighting game community, this brain cyst that I got going on right now, it's you motherfuckers' fault. So if I end up dying from this, please blame the fighting game community for what are you gonna do? That's what we're gonna do. I mean, fucking Christ, man. I mean, I swear, when I listen to people talk in the fighting game community, it really does fucking hurt my brain, dude. It's like, God, these fucking idiots, man. Jesus. Ugh. I'm sure they waste a colossal amount of money, hence the abrupt firings. Where are we? It makes you wonder if it was named Project L because they knew it was dumpster fire from the start. What characters would you hope to see in Tokon? Gambit, Cyclops, X-Men characters, Juggernaut, Magneto, Sentinel. Although Sentinel, it is kind of funny. Sentinel is very, Sentinel isn't like how he is in, X-Men, Children of the Atom, or, Marvel vs. Capcom. So I don't even know. Would Arc Systems make a Sentinel? Because Sentinel is he's unique, right? He's not really like that in the comics, right? So I don't know if Sentinel has a potential to be in the game, but I want X-Men characters because that's what I like. If they kept the game 1 vs. 1 and didn't redesign it, I'm sure the layoffs wouldn't have happened. Riot employees known for not doing a damn thing. Their man game has been in freefall for years, man. If a person invests their money into a business contract, then they expect results. Have you seen Donkey play 2XKO? I don't know who's Donkey. I have no idea. Who's a donkey? I don't know what that means. Who's Donkey? It's weird how Riot did not react sooner. 2XKO team must have a talented flute player. Well, like I said, those interviews were so painful that they were doing. If I was someone in the ivory tower, I would have been like checking off everybody's name. After every stupid interview where people said that kind of crap, I would have been, oh, this motherfucker's getting fired first chance, dude. I mean, 906G. Is it 906G or G? Sub Clay, I just saw the news. RIP 2X Kuso. This is holding people accountable. It is the reason public sector results and spending are so bad. No accountability. SNK is still thinking in their 90s. Nothing about their characters feel or look the same after 30 years. The juggle system is junk. McJuggle. Yes, I agree. I am tired of the McJuggles. Please stop with the McJuggles. What do you think about the EX to EX thing? I remember you were... Yeah, no, I don't like EX to EX. I'm over it. Like I said, I was afraid that was what the game was going to be about. I'm like, please don't be EX move to EX move. And then it was. And I was like, God damn it. I hope they don't dumb down KOF 16. Clayton, why not develop your own game? Well, I've made many game theory videos. I have no talent in terms of actually being able to do it myself. If anyone ever wants to help me do a proof of concept of any of the stuff I've talked about, or could be just a Street Fighter that I've talked about, or Dragon Ball, Guilty, or whatever, by all means, contact me. Two XKO has partial charge combos where you hold a button, like, and the combos in Street Fighter 6 are like Zangief charge punch. Oh yeah, I know there's charge stuff like that. Yeah. Do you feel good being so vindicated, Clayton? Wasn't Street Fighter 5 not super frame data focused? No, Street Fighter 5 was very super frame data focused, yes. Slime Rush induced. It was. Make it a meme. Blame the system on Buttmonger. What's up, bro? Neo Animatrix 23. Maximum gave me cancer is a style of a tabloid headline. Dude, I could do that. Well, Buttmonger did try to say that my tumors were fake. I mean, I couldn't believe that, dude. Motherfucker. Tried to say I put a tumor in my body and it's fake. Give me a fucking idiot. Why did anyone believe that guy? Cobbs 911, what's up? Clayton, if you're going to stream, why not stream a game? Geez, I don't even know the next time I'm going to play a game. Like I said, my body is so fucked up at this point, dude. It's, things aren't good, dude. Like I said, I've been very, very bad since I was accidentally given that shot that I was allergic to this past summer. It put me in urgent care, and then I've had these infections spreading. My body's not strong enough to fight off the infections. They ended up spreading to my ears, ruptured my eardrums, damaged all the nerves. I've had vertigo now, collapsing. And, man, my neck is really bad. I've needed that neck surgery for years. It's just going so bad into my fingers, dude. It's just it's hard to do stuff. And then I had that MRI this past Friday, and they found a cyst in my brain now. Which I don't know if I got the cyst, because apparently if you get a bad infection, some people can get a brain cyst. So I don't know if that's because of that. But yeah, things aren't good. Did you see it was leaked on stream? Page for Tokon, it's gonna have 20 characters. Do you think that's enough? It's more than 2XKO. Do I think it's enough? If that was like the final game, no. I would assume the game will probably have something like 40 characters though, but I don't know. I like my friends, but that doesn't mean that they make good employees for $1 million project. Yeah. Max is such a fake show, I can't stand him. Nightcrawler, Colossus, Silver Samurai, Apocalypse, Bishop. Yeah, Cyclops is a character I'd like to play. Gambit and Cyclops for sure too. And Wolverine, yeah. Donkey makes a bunch of funny reviews of games. Funny channel. Yeah, so I don't know who Donkey is. I guess maybe I'll have to look him up someday. 906 GI. There you go. Z-Man 8471. I was so unimpressed by the Tokon beta. It's like they made it for Verse 4, because they knew nothing else was interesting about the game. So I don't totally agree with that. I think there is a potential new perspective on fighting games if they keep fleshing out the wall system. I've made videos about it before of what I would do with the wall, how it is. But we'll see if it actually goes that route. Oh, no! Oh, shit. Are we back? Type something if you can see this. My stream crashed. Could you guys hear what I was saying? Is it still working? Okay. So I was saying that I don't totally agree with the Marvel Tokon thing. I hope the game is good, and I guess we'll see. I will reserve judgment for a bit longer. I need to see a little bit more. Yeah, you need to see the donkey 2XKO. Bro is validating everything you have said. It's funny. You should help the Punch Planet guys. They need it. I don't know what that is. Clayton, if Riot came up to you to save 2XKO, would you do it? I don't know about that one. Clayton, how can I get in contact with you? I live in Michigan as well. I don't know, message me on Twitter, I guess. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't meet people from the internet anymore. I've had way too many bad experiences. Way too many stalkers. I mean, God, I got a whole I got a whole folder just in case I ever go back to Japan about that one fucking stalker girl from the internet. Like, I can't believe I've had to talk to other Japanese people that have said they're going to go to the police with me in case anything happens. You know, I've had just way too many bad stalker experiences from people from the internet. So if you want to message me on Twitter, that's fine. But, you know, I don't meet people from the internet anymore. I've had way too many bad experiences with weird stalker dudes and girls. So, Hell versus Waiting Room. Hell versus Waiting Room? Is that a video game or something? Hell versus? I don't know. Do you work remotely, Clayton? I am sick. I mean, I've been supposed to do all these jobs for Dior for extra money, but I'm in the hospital all the time, so I have not been able to even do that to try to make some extra money. So I mean, my health is not good. I mean, I've showed my health record. I don't know how many times I have to show my health record. I don't. I mean, my health record is so crazy. People just apparently think it's fake. I mean, I was in the hospital again today. I mean, my life is not good, dude. I've wanted to. One of the things I was supposed to do this year was I was trying to get a student visa for Japan. I thought it would be a nice experience to study abroad, and they wouldn't do it with my health. They would not give me the visa since my health is just too. It's not good. I was quite disappointed. Alan CABJ18. I love you, Clayton. Eh? What you say? What? They're gonna have DLC, but the launch roster is gonna be 20. Isn't it a little small? No. Well, I mean, yeah, you'd hope it's bigger, but I would have hoped for something like, what would be a good number? I got 20. I guess 24. I don't know. I mean, hope maybe. God, are they gonna be? Geez, how often are they gonna be releasing characters? Oh God, geez. Hopefully it's quick. I don't know. I really hate watching Street Fighter 6 from the green slime to the shitty parries, EX to EX, and the ugly ass design. The game really seems like a proof of concept. Excuse me. Where are we? We back. We good. Yeah, nothing happened for me. Yes, we could. Yep, you never left. Jim ARX, message detracted. Sorry, I don't know what you put. Yeah, I can hear you. But also seems like the game is 4 versus 4, but you're not going to be constantly playing 4 characters like it is a traditional game, so maybe 20 is enough. I just hope there's some characters that I care about. Did I just fart? No. Maybe it's my chair maybe making some noise or something. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what? 20 is dog shit. Arxis has no excuse with Marvel money. Clayton, what's your favorite fighting game? I don't have a favorite fighting game. 4 per year is the standard DLC practice. Also, Dragon Ball First Year had 20 characters on launch, I think. They didn't have Disney dollars. Could be 5 per year. Yeah, how many characters did Dragon Ball FighterZ have when it first came out? I don't remember. Was it 20 characters? $16. Fuck, I was working. Missed the celebration stream. Well, I'll go for a little bit more. Let me look at that Pat the Flip interview the dude wanted me to look at. Let me see if I could find this. Oh, God. God, Pat is so fucking full of himself. I swear, dude, all these people, dude, they talk, I can't, it's unbelievable. People, I'm like one paragraph into this Pat the Flip article and I just shake my head, dude. Oh my God. These people are so fucking full of themselves. They talk to you like you're a child all the time. Oh my God. Let's read some of these quotes from Pat. These days it has gotten harder and harder to just sit down and press buttons. When I know the people my age that play the games I grew up with are wretchedly stupid. Oh my God. Pat, have you looked in the mirror? I have cultivated decades worth of experience and knowledge that I don't want to go to waste. But I don't want my efforts spent on some fuckwit that can't be bothered and listens to people like Joe Rogan. Dude, what is this? Like, am I reading an article about a video game thing, or is he trying to like scold me or something? That's why I say all these people, they talk down to everybody like you are a child. Oh my God. Do I want to keep reading this fucking interview? My brain is already hurting. What is this? Switch the window for us. Oh, sorry. Okay, 1 second. I apologize. I mean, if you want to see me, I'm sick. Dude, I've been in the hospital. I got I'm half naked and I got some ice on me right now. I'm just leaning back in the chair with a bag of ice like on my head while I talk to you guys. Like, I'm fucking sick, dude. I'm in the hospital all the goddamn time. I don't think you're missing anything by looking at me right now. Anyway, let me go back this. Now I lost. Where am I with this interview? It feels like the field of people I can play with has shrunk to an uncomfortable degree, and that has me at a loss for what to do. I'm not sure I can sell the newer generation on the magic of getting stunned off a touch or a combo videoed for accidentally getting hit back turned. Okay. Furthermore, if I do manage to get people on board, am I condemning them to dealing with the bigots if they branch out to test themselves? how worthwhile is it to create a scene that's ultimately why is he talking about everyone's a bigot when he himself is a fucking bigot? Like, dude, you can go look at his show before. Pat the Flip is a fucking idiot. He used to write about me even as far back as when I was doing the Ryu Rock ST stuff and how I had done all this stuff that no one else had ever done in fighting games. And then all of a sudden he started making up lies about me, how I could never do what he's done in video games. And 2XKO, and it wasn't even called 2XKO at this point, that I could never do what he's done for Project L. And that he was so above me, which is funny because Project L, whatever, was canceled. It did so badly, you guys turned it into a tag team game. It was so unpopular. Okay, let me go back. Where is this thing? Let's see. I think, let me read some of this. Let me just read. I'm trying to read this real quick, and we'll like. Oh God, wait. We share this world with people who hold views that we find morally intolerable, and staying sane means seeing as little of them as possible. It can be fun to be around a jerk sometimes when you're a dumb kid, but it gets old fast. Why is everyone evil besides these motherfuckers? These guys, and people say I'm a narcissist. These are the people are part of a team that joke about me dying. Okay? This is the article I'm reading about right now. Oh, you want to see the article? Oh. I'll put it in the window. Sorry. 1 second. Let me, fuck, where are we? There's the Joe Rogan thing. I don't want to waste, but I also don't want to waste my efforts on some fuckwit that can't be bothered to stop. What is listening? Let's say you do listen to Joe Rogan. What does that have to do with fucking fighting games? Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. Colin, everyone else is a bigot besides him. Why do we have to share this world with people who have different views than us? Like, what, dude? What? Oh, shit. What is this? Why do we have to share the world with somebody that has a different view than us? Like, is that like not like the, is he racist? Is he like not saying that he's a racist and a bigot? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I encourage you guys to watch my haters, anything like that. Well, Pat the Flip has articles complaining that everyone else is a bigot besides him, and you shouldn't have to share this world with them. This is crazy. Oh my God. What the fuck? Oh my God. I mean, you know, it's not, you know, this is why they do this shit though. I mean, that's why I say when you listen to so many of these holier than these people, they sound so holier than thou, and they talk to you like a child. Like, I understand I'm a very blunt person. I'm not saying I'm the nicest person, and I do call people idiots and retards, but I don't think I talk to people like they are a legitimate like child. Like, I guess there's like a very fine line. There's a very thin line, right? Like, I can be, you know, pretty blunt to people too, right? Mr. Nobody 85. Yeah, I can be pretty blunt too, and I can call people idiots, retards, but these people, they act like they are so holier than thou, and then they will write articles talking about that they shouldn't have to share the world with other people. You know, just fucking Christ. Okay, where were we? I describe this primarily in terms of politics because it's the most obvious vector for anyone reading this to relate to. But I think it's true in terms of all kinds of human qualities. In general, I care about the quality of people I spend my time with. I want to feel invested in the people around me, to grow alongside them. And if I find people that around me do not meet that standard, I will go to people who do. What kind of stand? Well, you hang out with people that joke about me dying and think it's funny. You also hang out with people that make up weird lies about me. I want to be better so the others around me can be better, and vice versa. And by being protective about my time and upfront with my ideas about people ought to treat each other. Dude, what you just were talking about, you shouldn't have to share the world with other people. What the fuck are you talking about? I have generally been successful at creating networks of people around me who feel similarly. It does mean that I have to discard friendships that don't point in this direction. I've had people tell me that real friends ignore each other's flaws and insecurities instead of acknowledging them as things to be worked on, or that hanging out with me feels like isn't that being lectured by their father? But each experience like this leaves me more grateful for the new people who I find who are down to growing together. Pat does not want to grow with other people. All he wants to do is pretend that he's better than other people. We have showed this. Again, isn't this amazing that I have videos telling you that you should watch people that you might think suck, that you might be afraid to watch? Because if you want to know more about a hobby that you enjoy, oh, Gaudy Gamer sent one Clayton GIF membership. Oh, there you go. Hey, you can now post a Pikachu. There you go. Wait, oh, now that you're a member, you can post Pikachu stuff like this. And this. And this. And this. Or if you ever want to donate to the channel too, like, sub. So if you guys want to donate to the channel, we've been doing this stream for a little bit, but wait, I got to get some more of this interview. Like I said, I just think it's crazy that I make all these videos telling you to watch my haters. If you want to know more about video games, don't be afraid to listen to someone that you might think sucks, because you might learn something new. And here you got Pat. It's just an entire interview talking about not being understanding. Other people are bigots besides you. You shouldn't have to share the world with them. Wow, I can't believe I don't remember this. This is an absolutely terrible. Is this still going? Oh, did we lose it? Is it still scrolling? Oh, I think, did we lose it? Oh, did my thing freeze? Oh, come on. Did we lose it? Is it still going? Dan, did my thing freeze again? Or is it still moving? Is it scrolling again? Okay, where are we? So we have a situation. Oh my God, this thing is long. Fuck. So we have a situation where we want to play some good old games, but we do not have the patience or leverage to deal with people who came up playing these games with. Which brings us to the questions 3. Do the kids like the old shit? Does getting the kid... You know, this is actually pretty scary, dude. This actually shows that he's like an evil motherfucker to me. But fighting game sickos are fighting game sickos throughout their generations. And plenty of the youth raised on mighty... Oh my God. I think the answer to both these questions is yes. Exposure to old games will increase exposure to old people who play them, including the jerks. People give me a lot of credit for the work I do with the XR community, but some of the most powerful organizing work I've seen was actually done by my wife, Irene, who found early on why... New players were asking the wrong question. Old players were giving the wrong answers. Okay, the old players. You mean the old players that try to tell you the stuff that I've done is fake? And people. A home base for the kids to get comfortable playing themselves. And then once they felt ready, they'd go and brave the jerks in the public lobbies or fightcade. Because Pat the Flip is not a jerk, right? As a fairly socially awkward kid myself, this was exactly what arcades did for me. Put me into social contact with people I didn't know and didn't understand, and gradually build confidence in my business. All right, well, that's not too bad of a thing to say. The same thing if you only play a jerk. But if you can clearly see where the jerks are, having the confidence being jerk. What the fuck? To be sure, you need to be careful. Warn them of the predators and the grifters and the fascists and the elevator shifters as much as you need to. Pat the Flip, who earlier in this article said we shouldn't have to share the world with other people. Oh my God. Well, let me read some of these comments for a second. Jesus Christ. Clayton was right. We're good now. Clayton was right. This guy is an infinite. This guy must be a big wrestling fan. The most troubling part is that the guy is ahead of Teal for the X-Art scene. Aliens and summons are dope, but Twixter's all arcane. So imagine you don't hold radical left political beliefs like Pat. If this guy talks like that and severed friendships over politics, how do you think he and his community would treat you, including Joe Rogan listeners? Yeah, like he's already said that he shouldn't have to share the world with anyone that listens to Joe Rogan. What does that have to do with fucking fighting games, bro? Oh my God. I'm a fucking idiot. Is this Pat Flip's book on the beginner-friendly fighting game player? Apparently. Fascists saying they hate fascists. What do the Fallout 2 Kale? What is William talking about? Wrote a whole manifesto and tried to shoehorn FGC stuff to make it relevant. Not even about fighting games. There, if you care more about community safety than the game, fighting games were not just. What the fuck is this? Just anyway. Oh my. Okay, so wait. This is kind of funny. Wait. If I hadn't had my high school debate coach who gave me all the tools I needed to understand the experiences I was having and growing from it, I think Pat's, dude, I don't know what kind of coach he had for school debates, but if one of your school debates is saying that you think Clayton faked cancer, I'm pretty sure you must have not been a very good debater, you fucking idiot. For every me, there are probably 100 other people who could have had a life-changing experience through fighting games, but didn't stick around long enough because they didn't have someone help through it. Oh yeah, because you should be helping people, right? The value we create in being comes to. Oh my God, NorCal's game. Oh jeez. CVS2 is NorCal's game, right? That was it, huh? Oh great. What a retarded article. I don't know. I don't think that article taught me anything about Pat other than that he thinks he's better than everybody else. And if you don't share the same beliefs as him, you're a jerk and he shouldn't have to share the world with you. I mean, okay, dude, whatever. What? That's a great person. Also, I guess I didn't know that he was on the high school debate team. Well, Pat's debating skills for why he's done more than me in fighting games was that I could have never made a game as good as 2XKO when it was a one versus one game that was canceled. Also, Pat the Flip, when he tried to debate me, he said I was wrong that 2XKO has not been being made 10 years and it was only being made 10 years or 6 years. And now he himself has admitted that that was a lie and it was actually being made for 10 years. So his own debates, he lies. Like, I mean, I know this is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, like, dude, I was like, dude, you guys have been making this game for 10 years. No, it's only 6 years. That's a lie. Now he got fired. He's like, I can't believe I was making this game for 10 years and they fired me. How unfair. Boy, Pat the Flip must have been a horrible debater. That's what we should. Is anyone else was anyone else on Pat the Flip's debate team for high school? I would love to see some of his amazing debates. I mean, Jesus Christ. I bet did he? I guess whenever Pat the Flip lost an argument in high school, did he say that they fake cancer too? Is that one of his like go-to debating points? Just making random shit up. Oh my god, dude. Did he also say, "Oh, I don't agree with anything because you listen to Joe Rogan"? Like, what does this have to do with fucking video games? Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up, motherfucker. I'm gonna say that Pat the Flip gave me this fucking brain cyst now. My brain cyst is growing because of that. Anyway, where are we? The fallout of 2XKO is so bad, people are claiming those making fun of it are anime players or some shit. What is this bully even talking about? Wrote a whole manifesto and tried to shoehorn FGC stuff to make it relevant. Not even talking about fighting games anymore if you are talking about community safety. You know, I always feel like that's one of those things, like that's one of those like creepy things where you see those people like, I actually saw that. If you saw that on, I don't know if he's watching this. He does watch the channel sometimes. There was the guy Shredder, and he got banned from the Guilty Gear Discord as well because they wanted him to tell everybody that Testament was a girl. And he said he refused to say that Testament was a girl and he used the he pronoun. And they said that they would ban him now from the Guilty Gear Discord because he was no longer safe to be around the children in the Discord. Like whenever you hear stuff like that, does that not like automatically think that this guy, they must be the ones that are trying to do something with all these kids, right? Like I told this story before in my Japan vlogs, right? I was hanging out with some guys, right? And there was this foreign guy and he came up and he was super awkward. Like, and he came up to us and he's like kind of like, scatterbrain, kind of looking kind of autistic, or I don't know if he was drunk or what's going on. He's like, oh man, hey guys, are you foreigners too? I was like, yeah, what's up, dude? And he's like, yeah, and he's like scratching his ear like he's got like a tick or something. And he's like, yeah, man, Japan, dude, I hear that, people they have sex with girls here, even if they're like young. That's really gross. So gross, man. And we're like looking at this guy and we're like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, man, there's so many like perverts here and they're so gross and I just feel really, really uncomfortable. And we're like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, okay, I just want to have sex with them too. How do I have sex with them? And we're like looking at this guy and we like face palm, dude. And we're like, why the fuck? This is like, it was like the most cliche thing of the guy trying to pretend that he like cares about all these kids or some shit like that. And then immediately he like flips his switch. And he's like, please, I want to have sex with the schoolgirls, please. How do I do it? It's like, okay, bro. I'm like, come on, Jesus Christ. That's what I think of when I see that fucking shit, dude. I'm like, oh my God, ridiculous. Ugh. Anyway, where are we? A master debater. Yeah, really. Odd how the FGC was known for not caring about who you were, just if you were nice on the stakes. Suddenly, It is about not wanting to play with certain people you don't like. Yeah. He was a masturbator. Yeah. Soft, right? Do you think labbing is unintuitive? And if so, should games be. Wait. Do you think labbing is unintuitive? And if so, should games be made to make certain aesthetic mechanics clearer through changes to visual or animation? I, I don't think fighting games are, excuse me, unintuitive to lab. If anything, they're even easier to lab because you can actually see like the frame data of moves now, you know? So you like that's why I said like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, you got that orange bar so you can tell if the combo is going to work or not. So you have like a goal to work towards. Like that's why when I made all those Dragon Ball combos, I had like a better clear idea of, I'm going for this combo. Is it going to work or not? But I could see that there was still like orange on the stun meter. So I'm like, oh, I can tell that this will probably work. It's just like a me problem right now. I just have to like, make it work. This dude calling himself Miyamoto. Wait, where's I'm not my glasses. This dude calling himself Miyamoto Musashi. They are really aggressive. Hey, Clayton, did you see that tweet from years ago saying that quarter circle motions are thinly veiled ableism? No, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. The 10 years thing is so damning. I don't understand why they are so angry and aggressive. FGC would be miles better if these people would just learn to shut the fuck up and play the game instead of trying to push out and cancel everybody that disagrees with them. Yeah, I agree. I wonder why they kicked him out. Sarcasm. Pathicist. Debating truth seeking. That's the same thing with these people, is that they want to reduce the skill ceiling in a lot of these try-hard games to cater to the modern audiences as a way to push certain communities into esports. The GG Discord, or at least the main one, is totally captured. Japan not for beginners. GG plus R radical Discord for criminals. We know you got the Japanese schoolgirl tag, Clayton. Stop holding out on us. It's always the guy who says the kids BS. Them dudes are fucking weird schoolgirls. When I was there, I went for the Gaijin hunters. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's always one of those like people. A lot of times when the people are the most holier than thou, that's the people that are the most. They're like hiding something. Like that was weird. Like we were like hanging out there, and this dude, he was like so like man, I've met some pretty weird dudes. Like as a weird dude myself to a certain degree, sometimes you meet people who are so weird and you're just like, that guy came up to me and my friends and it's like, what kind of dude just, he's like, oh, you're a foreigner too? It's like, yeah, what's going on? It's like, man, it's my first time in Japan, man. And, people are so perverted here. And I'm like, why? And they're like, man, I can't believe, I hear people, they have sex with schoolgirls, man. It's just gross. It's gross, man. Can you believe that, man? It's gross. And it's like, okay, dude, well, so what do you want? And then finds like, I really want to have sex with this girl too. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, dude, the most holier than thou fucking people, dude. Come on, man. I feel like those people, the biggest virtue signalers are the people that have the most stuff to hide, so to speak, right? It's like, oh my God, come on, dude. Like, just ridiculous. Midnight Green 20, what's up? What are we getting tonight? I feel like we're probably towards the end of the stream. We've been on almost 2 hours, but if you ever want to donate to the channel, I had a donation earlier. I appreciate it. If anyone else wants to donate to the channel before we shut off here, but yeah, no, try. I mean, some people are really fucking weird, dude. God, who's another weird foreigner I met in Japan? There is this guy. He was another guy, another holier than thou guy. He's like, oh God, I can't believe I have sex with schoolgirls here. Oh, it's so gross. Blah 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 blah, kind of thing. And then what did he? He started coming up to us and he was telling us this story. And he's like, yeah, well, oh God, what did he say? I'm trying to think. He came up to us and he was with his girlfriend actually, right? And he was trying to like tell us like he was some huge swinger. And he's like, yeah, man, I've had sex with like 2,000 women. And we're like, really, dude? You? And he's like, oh, I have sex all the time, bro. And we're like, oh, yeah? you know, really, dude? Okay. And he's like, and I'm like, 2,000 times? You've already had sex with 2,000 women? Like, you don't look that old, dude. I'm like, you don't look that old to have sex with 2,000 people. And he's like, oh, yeah, man. I'm like, he's like, I'm a sex addict, man. And he's with his girl. And this is funny too, because he's with his like girlfriend at the time. And the girlfriend is like, oh yeah, he's a sex addict, right? And we're like, how do you have sex with 2,000 people, dude, right? And he's like, well, I started really early. And we're like, yeah, well, you probably, because you're like 20 years old, right? So you must have started early. And he was like, yeah, man, right when I first started getting hard, just started fucking everything, man. And we're like, okay, dude, but 2000? And he's like, yeah, well, there's a story to it. He's like, I was homeless for a while and then I wanted to travel. And so he's like, ass, cash. He said, ass, cash, or grass. We started laughing. We were like, ass, cash, or grass. He's like, yeah, man, I wanted to travel, so ass, cash, or grass. And sometimes I just gave up my ass. We like, dude, we're like, oh God, this guy's such fucking bullshit. We're like, sure, dude. Midnight Green 20. Consider this my late night tax link. Hey, thanks, dude. Thank you for the $5. If you enjoy the story, you can donate too. And he's like, yeah, man. So sometimes I just had to give up my ass. And we're like laughing, like, okay, dude. So we're like, so guys are part of the 2000. He's like, oh yeah, guys are part of the 2002. And we're just like laughing, like this guy is such bullshit. And he's like, but I really want to add to that number tonight, man. I'm in Japan. Gotta add to the 2000. And we're like looking at this guy, like, man, dude, well, you don't need our help, dude. It sounds like if you're already banging 2,000 girls, I don't think you need our help, dude. You're better than all of us. And he's like, no, man, really, I need to get in some more. And the wife is like, yeah, or the wife, maybe it was his wife, whatever the girl he's with. He's like, yeah, we want to have some fun while we're in Japan. And so, I don't drink or do drugs or anything. So they went with some people to go do drugs and, get fucked up. And the next day, me and my friends were hanging out, we're talking about them. And we're like, what happened with ass, cash, or grass, dude? And they're like, dude. And they're like, first of all, that dude's got no game. And right. And they're like, every girl that he tried to fuck turned him down. And they're like, but what did happen is the wife, the girlfriend, her tongue was down like every guy's throat. And so we're talking about it and we're like, oh, so the wife is the one that gets all of them. And then they have like, a threesome. But so people were saying that the wife banged multiple Japanese guys. And then eventually, she brought back one Japanese guy and they had a threesome with her or something like that. But they're like, that guy doesn't have any game to get 2,000 girls. And they're like, probably everyone is just the girlfriend. She gets the guys and then they all party together or something like that. But I'm like, yeah, 2,000 people, dude. Ass, cash, or grass, dude. So, yeah, but I don't know. Did I tell that story before? I don't remember if I told that story before, but I thought that was pretty funny. Trying to think, do I have any other weird stories? I think most stories I've told from Japan. I don't think it was last time I was in Japan. Maybe a couple of times ago in Japan. I did have a girl. She wanted to give me money to do stuff. I mean, boy, she was a. Excuse me. I don't know if I told the story about that. She's like an older girl though. So. Oh boy, I don't know. Casual Player EX, what is your weird Japanese story? Hope everyone's doing good. Been learning some neat calisthenic stuff like handstand push-ups. Next is a backflip. That's more than I can do. I can't do that. It's more than I can say. How do you apply for a student visa? I couldn't get a student visa. I wanted to, I was going to try to do that this year, but they wouldn't let me because of my health, unfortunately. That's life. Welcome to I Have No Idea What I Do. Oh, thank you for the membership. You now get to post Pikachu emojis. Thank you. Working on a personal FG project, working on a guy who has a projectile where he throws portal projectile that only teleports the upper body. Thoughts if this sounds a stupid idea. I don't know. I think I need to see an image of it. Oh, Lord. Lord, Lord, Lord. What's another weird sex story I could tell in Japan? Not one of my own. I knew a guy that was a black dude, right? This why am I telling you he's black? Because it's going to be relevant to the story. Black dude in Japan, right? And he goes to orgy stuff, right? And so he was, I don't know, one of the times he's having an orgy, so he got a hotel with the other couple, right? And so they're banging, right? And they're trading their wives, having sex, whatever. And I guess she was like, man, the other partners, they don't really seem to be in it, right? Like the guy's fucking his girl and he's fucking that girl, right? And I guess they had a rule though. They're like, before you come, before black dude comes, you have to come on Asian girl, my wife's stomach, because she really likes black guy jizz, I guess. And he was like, okay. And so anyway, they're doing their thing. And he's like, okay, I'm about to come. And so he explodes on her stomach. And then all of a sudden, the husband of the other guy, right? He sees the cum on his wife's stomach and he throws the other guy, that guy's girl, off. And he's like, yes, black guy jizz. And then he jumps on his wife, who has the black dude's jizz on her stomach. And they start like rubbing it all over their bodies. And he said that he and his girlfriend just started watching them and they're like kind of just like in shock. And they were like, I guess that's what you're into, right? And they're like, they just, I guess that really made them horny. And they're like, I guess that's what you're into, right? And they were like, oh yeah, we love black guy jizz. And they're like, okay. And they're like, well, we're going to go take a shower. And so anyway, so they took their shower, right? And they come out. And here's an interesting thing about Japan too, about how safe Japan is, right? So I guess they take their shower and they're sitting down with the couple and they're like, and then they get like a call on their phone and the other couple answers and they start talking to, I don't remember if they said it was a son or a daughter. And their son or daughter, I guess, is like 10 years old or some shit like that. And they're like, yeah, don't worry. Mommy and daddy are just with a friend. We'll be back, tomorrow. We're staying the weekend with our new friends, right? And they were like, holy shit. And they're like, it shows you how safe Japan is. And they're like, so these parents, they go on these orgy escapades with other foreigners and they leave their like 10-year-old kid all home by themselves for like the weekend because Japan is just that safe, right? So that was kind of there's a double whammy of like a culture shock in Japan for you of just how different, the world is. And I mean, even I've said that before. Sometimes, I'm taking a late home train from Shinjuku, around Kabukicho, whatever it is. And man, you can see, man, I've seen girls, they look like they're elementary schools girls taking like a late night train ride home by themselves. Like sometimes it's almost like you want to ask them, like, are you okay? Like you're taking the train home this late at night? Like, I mean, that's definitely a culture shock about Japan that you see. It's just so safe there, generally speaking, right? I mean, I say it's so, I've been saying how safe Japan is for how many years now when I'm there, right? But then look at this. I had that stalker problem this last time I was in Japan, which was pretty scary. But generally Japan is very safe to a pretty interesting degree, I would say. So is this stuff happening in broad daylight or is it 2 a.m.? The orgy thing. I mean, I don't do orgies, so I mean, I wasn't there. I don't care about black guy jizz. So I was not there for the black guy dude orgy. So I would assume it happened at night, I guess. But for sure, no, you can see so the last train is normally around 12:30 or something like that, right? So, but yeah, no, I've seen, very young girls, which you would think, wow, this would never happen in America. you know, Super late at night, late night train at home, kind of thing. But it's just generally so safe there because, like I said, that's one of the biggest culture shocks for me when I've gone to Japan, and it's something that I've always had to. So I always have to like re-rack my brain whenever I'm in Japan. I've said it so many times before. It really clicked for me that one time that I was a girl wanted me to teach her English, wanted to come back to my house, and we're doing our thing or whatever, And she told me, and before we did anything, I was like, if you don't want to do anything, just let me know, right? And she started crying. And she was like, no one in my entire life has ever asked me if I'm okay before we have sex. And her reaction was so strong, like bawling, boogers coming out of her nose. And that's when I kind of realized that, that's the actual like dark side of Japan. I realized when that happened that you see that because nobody would hurt anybody, it also kind of means that nobody cares about anybody enough to hurt them. And that's when that perspective really creeped into my mind, being to Japan so much when I saw that. And I was like, whoa. And I'm like, no one has ever asked you. Because on some level, there's, it kind of feels cool that you're like, oh, geez, hey, this cute young girl, she wants me to teach her English for the weekend, because she like feels safe to just. I mean, dude, that girl, we had talked for like 5 minutes, and she was like, teach me English at your house for the weekend. And I was like, what? But we did the kind of train ride home and everything like that, and but when I saw that, before we did everything, and then she cried, and I was like, whoa, like I get it now, right? I was like, damn. And then that's why you hear about stuff sometimes, like, I know I heard a story that, say, a girl before she asked her friends, quotation marks, if I ever want to kill myself, how do I kill myself? And her friends were like, oh, yeah, just kill yourself like that. And then she went and killed herself after like that. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? Did the friends even care about each other? But again, that's the dark side of Japan for me when I think about experiences like that. Drifter, yo, what's up, dude? Wow. So is this stuff happening? Oh yeah, that Falcon versus SSH. Yeah, SSH hasn't done anything new in a while. I think I had heard that I think SSH he had posted on his like blog that he has like a lot of severe depression issues and so he doesn't make music anymore, unfortunately. Do you have a favorite video game composer? No, I don't think I have a favorite. What about you? Still mind blowing how safe it is. Yeah, I mean, before this last trip that I went to Japan, I don't think I've ever had really the stalker thing. That was pretty scary. Like I said, I can't believe I have a whole folder. I had to go through that girl's Twitter and I had to save all these posts and I've had to talk to other people in Japan that will agree to go to the police with me. She's that was before that I've never had like that scary of an experience in Japan. Generally it's pretty safe, you know. But which sucks because that is one of the great things that being able to travel and feel safe and now I got to worry about that there's some girl that was stalking me for months. I mean, that's insane. But again, hopefully I don't have to go to the police, but I guess I'm prepared to go to the police in case I have to, unfortunately. Cultural differences like that are intriguing. I agree. I agree. I wish I could have. I really wanted to do the study abroad thing. I think it would have been a nice experience to live in Japan for a longer period of time. But again, they wouldn't let me with health. So, that's what are you going to do, I guess, right? Something leaked gasoline? What? I don't know what that means. Something leaked gasoline. I don't know what that means. You're a kind guy, Clayton. Oh yeah, no, I shouldn't know. That ruined it for me. Oh my god, trust me, that would have been amazing. I would have loved to have sex with that girl the entire weekend. But after she was crying, oh my god, I felt so bad for her. Oh crap. It made me feel really bad. Oh boy. But you know, sometimes Japan. I told that story before too. Last trip. You know, I don't know if I ever mentioned it before, but Japan has like some wholesome moments too. Like you don't have like I was walking a girl home last trip, and I walked her home a few times actually. But you know, you have those kind of like kind of cutesy walking a girl home at night kind of thing. Like, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. We don't really do this in America. She's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, in America we drive, so it's not like we don't really like walk a girl home through the city. So it's kind of like cute. And she's like, really? You don't walk in America? And I'm like, dude, in America we have cars. Like, if I was gonna take a girl out, we drive. We don't like walk home through the city and then walk you home or anything like that, you know? And she's like, "Really? You?" I'm like, "Yeah, people drive in America. We don't walk like this." So, you know, Japan has cute things like that that you kind of. I like the little things. You kind of appreciate those things. They're kind of nice. Japan's got that. Japan's got that. Well, if you want to be left behind, then see you later mindset for real. Laughing out loud, the news is breaking about 2XKO layoffs. Yeah, we already did a long video about it. We've done a long video. Perfect blue, but it's in reverse. Mommy, you should do more streams like this. I would tune in. Hey, I appreciate it. I don't stream very often. I just don't have a lot to talk about. I mean, if people, you know, if people want to start donating to the streams, a couple people donated today. I mean, if people donate, I mean, I'll stream more, but I'm just generally speaking, there's just no point of signing on, you know, unless it's like I have some incentive, right? Because I can just generally make a video like this already, right? I don't know if you made a video about it yet, but I wonder if you would do a video about if option selects are good or bad. Or maybe that's too nerdy and you just wrote it off. I've made some videos about option selects. I've talked about the option select of throwing in Street Fighter 4. I think it's kind of fun the way that that works. I think it feels good. Feels good is kind of, you know, a subjective thing, but I kind of like that. You know, I've talked about, you know, option selects in very sort of more vague terms, not I guess you'd have to give me a specific, you know, like say I've talked about Super Turbo as well. You know, say T Hawk and E Honda. Those option select throw shit, like that has no place in any game. You know, I mean, that stuff, you know, I defend Super Turbo a lot, the balance and the chaos, but, you know, those kind of theoretical scenarios like T Hawk, you know, option select throw DP, which theoretically, if you time it each time, you automatically win. Like, that has no place in any video game. Like, that's stupid, you know, but yeah, so I've talked about some stuff like that, I suppose. Do you want to study when you eventually get your student? Oh no, I can't get it. No, my health record is too serious. No, I'm not allowed. They would never approve me with my health record for everything that I have going on. It's pretty much impossible. I mean, the school even suggested that I lie. That's how like serious it is. They're like, you would never get a B. Like at first, when I was talking to the schools, they thought it would be okay, but then when I actually showed them my health record and talked about it, they're like, oh no. They're like, oh my god. They're like, you would never get a visa with your health record. They're like, you would never get no. They're like, the best thing you could do is just lie. They're like, you would have to lie and pray that you don't get found out because they would never give you a visa with a health record like this. Oh yeah, I know. I've had many serious health problems throughout my life. No, it's not a temporary thing, unfortunately. And they were even like, when I talk to them, they're like, it's much more strict now too. And they're like, nowadays, if you miss 5 days in a semester, we have to report you to the government to get you kicked out of the country for an evaluation. And they're like, so even if you lied, they're like, do you think you would not miss 5 days in a semester? Because if you miss 5 days in a semester, we have to report you to the government to get kicked out. And you'll have to think of an excuse of why you missed 5 days. And it's like, oh yeah, come on. They're like, yeah, it's not very realistic. Yep. They're like, can you just not post your health record? And they're like, but the problem is you'd probably have to go to the hospital and you're probably going to bring in medication. So like, how would you explain it? So I was like, I can't. And they're like, exactly. So they're like, what you should do is like, if you wanted to study, they're like, what we can do is we can write in a one, they're like, we can write in a one time only letter for an extension of a tourist visa. So they're like, what you could do is come to study on a 3 month tourist visa. And then as a school, we are allowed to write in a one time letter for a extension to a visa. And they're like, it's not guaranteed, but they're like, we've never had it ever turned down. And then they're like, and then after that, what you could do is, well, do a visa run. They're like, you could just take a trip to Korea, then come back, right? And then you'll get like another 90 days, right? So then they're like, you could do something like that. But then the problem is, since you're technically not on a student visa, right, you're not going to get the Japanese healthcare. So I have to pay for all my American insurance, right? And the insurance while I'm in Japan. So I have to pay for double insurance, right? You know what I mean? And then I won't get any cheaper housing because I'm not a student. I won't get any student discount on housing. So it's kind of like, well, what the fuck is the point, right? Like, that's kind of the point. Like, if I was on a student visa, I can get cheaper housing. And if I could get, a student visa, maybe I could just get Japanese insurance for a little bit. But then, like, they'll never give you insurance, a student visa with your health record. They're like, you would never get it. They're like, so. Oh, they actually said, yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, I suppose maybe you might not say, maybe they didn't say lie. They said, could you just not tell them about your health? And I was like, well, I'd be bringing in a lot of medication. And then they're like, well, exactly, yeah, right. And they're like, I'm sure you take a lot of medication. So you're going to have to go to a doctor. And they're going to be like, why do you need this medication that you have to take every day? And they're going to be like, that seems kind of strange, right? What do you mean you don't have a thyroid anymore? Oh, I did radiation. Why didn't you put this on your student visa that you had to have your thyroid removed? And they'll be like, yeah, so like that would be extremely suspect, right? They're like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So they're like, yeah, they're like, eh. Although, for what it's worth, though, not health wise, yes, I have met other people in Japan who have said that they've lied on their visas to get into Japan, but they don't have health issues, so they're not at the doctor all the time. I talked to one guy, he does Well, I guess maybe I shouldn't say what he does. He works for a Japanese company, and he lied about never going to prison before, which I don't know if he'd be kicked out of the country, but he's like, yeah, I got a job in Japan. And so when I did the visa, I just wrote that I've never been to prison and they just never checked. And so I live in Japan now. And he's like, but I have been to prison. He's like, but I just didn't check the box saying that I've been to prison before. So, people do lie, right? So, but of course, he's not getting into any trouble in Japan, to my knowledge at least. But, I don't know anybody that has, you know, I don't know anybody that has my kind of health problems that's in the hospital all the time, right? DSL or BBL? Oh my God. Uh, eh, I mean, I do prefer. I mean, I am kind of a lip guy. Do they at least have a little bit of a butt? It's not like a flat butt, is it? Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with that. I like dick sucking lips, so that temporary visa, yes. So the visa runs are very common. Like that's not like a secret at all, right? I mean, you talk to other foreigners there, you hear foreigners do that all the time. That's an extremely common thing. I knew a guy who did it multiple times in a row before they finally kicked him out. I mean, it's pretty common practice if you've been to Japan enough and you talk to foreigners enough that are there enough, people doing visa runs are very, very common. It's just a thing if you do it too many times, then you get kicked out. But I've never, God, I don't even know if I've heard of people getting kicked out doing it a couple times. It's usually when people try to do it a few times that you get kicked out. But, I can't think of ever hearing anybody being kicked out the first time or anything like that for doing it. I've seen you talk here and there about hockey. Have you ever thought about making any hockey videos? Uh, yes, I have. Um, I mean, I do have some hockey videos on my channel. I wanted to do some video game hockey videos actually. I had a video, God, you know what the problem is? Sometimes I have so many videos that are backed up that they're lost now. Like I said, back in the day, I had so many Teen Gohan combo videos that some of those videos I never even put out. And it's just like lost in hundreds and hundreds of videos. And I'm like, I don't remember which video was new. I just know I never like edited it. But I know what I wanted to do is sometimes I think it's like the nerd in me. Sometimes, when you play like a sports video game, like characters have different ratings. So I made one video, I just haven't edited it and put it up. Remember, I like the old Shark teams with Larionov and Makarov and Urbe. And I made a video posting the ratings of all those players in every different version for every different company that they made, just because I think it's fascinating that one game gave all these players good ratings, one game gave players bad ratings, one player's game gave players good ratings. I think that's kind of fascinating because, say, for some of those EA Sport games, every player rating was made by one person. So you can kind of see there's like a clear biasness, right? Like a funny thing is, say, it's a Sega Saturn game. It was whatever season was the 95-96 Red Wings, right? When they had the Russian five and, Larionov, God, Larionov was amazing that year, right? And the funny thing is though, for that game for the Sega Saturn, Larionov is the worst rated player on the entire Red Wings. So seemingly you would just think that the person that did this ratings for this game, he just hated Larionov. Why did he hate Larionov? I don't know, but Larionov is the worst rated player on the entire Red Wings roster. Even though he was a point a game player that year, he was fifth best in the NHL in plus and minus. The Russian five was the most dominant line in the NHL that year. and Larionov was rated the worst player on the Red Wings in that game. So seemingly the guy that did the ratings for the game just hated him. I think stuff like that is interesting, right? Just like, say, NHL All-Star Hockey for Sega Saturn. Arturs Irbe is the cover star of that game. And do you know who was the worst rated goalie in that game? Irbe. Irbe is the cover star of the game, and he's the worst rated goalie in the entire game, and they even got his stick hand wrong. Like, things like that are like fascinating to me. But the funny thing is, right? You know, a funny thing is, though, if you play the Sega Genesis version of that game, though, I think Irbe is rated like, you know, one of the 5 best goalies in the league. But if you play the Sega Saturn version of the game, Irbe is rated the worst goalie in the game, even though he's the cover star of the game. So seemingly when, you know, they made the Sega Saturn version of the game, the guy just hated Irbe. But if you play just the Genesis version of the game, Irbe is like the 5th best goalie in the game, right? So, I mean, it's very, like, things like that are, I think, pretty fascinating to me. And I know I had made a video about it. I just hadn't totally edited it. And, you know, now I made it so long ago, I don't even know where the fuck it is on my computer, probably. But, you know, things like that are fun. I actually would like to, that game is funny too, because, excuse me, you know, I don't know how many people play those kind of games, but, that game, like, the algorithm of the game is pretty fucked up. Like, the algorithm will not allow certain players to win awards. So, you know, sometimes you're like doing a season, you're playing it right. And, you know, I would play the Sharks. And of course, because you can like break the game, you know what I mean? I'd have like Larionov would have like 200 goals and like 300 assists or some shit like that, right? But it would not give Larionov like the MVP. It just wouldn't. Like, it just like certain like people, they just are not like in the game. Like, if they aren't allowed to win the award. It's very strange. Like, they just won't let them win. And I know that game is a very funny, like, you know, every game has its own kind of like oversight on how you score. And the original Sega Saturn NHL All-Star Hockey, the oversight for how you score is you like pass from like center ice to the blue line, and you just take a slap shot, and like no goalie can like stop the slap shot from like the blue line. When you like pass, you do like a pass, like it's either like you're the left wing or the right wing, and then you just pass, and then you just take a slap shot from the blue line, and like no goalie can like stop it. Right? Oh God. Crap. Okay, are we back? We're talking about hockey. So it's funny because, and if you watch, the reason is because for some reason the game is like programmed, like when players aren't close to the goalie starts to like move out. But when you do that, then the goalie is never in position to like block the slap shot if you just slap shot from the blue line like that. And so you just always kind of like score. And so I thought that would be kind of a fun thing, kind of like, say, some of the EA Sport games. Like, you go right, then left. You go right, you deke right, then deke left really quick, and you shoot. And like that just almost always scores. Like, the goalie just is not prepared to like stop the shot for some reason. So I think things like that are kind of interesting, but where are we? NHL Open Ice is super fun. You know, fuck NHL Open Ice. NHL Open Ice, the Sharks, Makarov and Larionov are not on the Sharks in that game. There you go. That's another fucking weird thing, like random trivia knowledge. How do you not have the best players on your team are not on the Sharks? It's Johnny, it's Craig Janney, Ozelinch, and God, who's the other shark that is in NHL Open Ice? Craig Janney, Ozelinch, and is it Whitney? Maybe it's Ray Whitney. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I forget. But Larionov, the best player on the team, is not an NHL Open Ice. Makarov, Makarov was kind of falling off that year. But still, I mean, he was the best player, him and Larionov, the year before. And they're not on NHL Open Ice. That's why sometimes games like that are kind of like interesting. But, I think it's NBA Jam. I think Michael Jordan isn't in NBA Jam, right? Is anyone old enough to remember? I think Michael Jordan is not on the Bulls in NBA Jam, right? Wasn't it like he wanted more money or something like that to be in NBA Jam, so they didn't put Michael Jordan in one of the NBA Jams? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So I can't imagine Larionov asked for money to be in NHL Open Ice, but whatever the case, Larionov isn't in NHL Open Ice for some reason. It's fucking weird. You're into hockey? I used to like hockey when I was younger. I mean, I don't really follow it much anymore, but rated person low. Are you the Shrek Prince guy? I got God, what did I get stopped today when I was out? I got rizzed this past weekend when I was out. Somebody came up to me and they were like, what did they say? They're like, "Are you one of the skaters in the Olympics?" And I was like, "No." Why? And they're like, "Because you're pretty enough to be one." And they smiled and they winked at me. And I laughed and I was like, "What?" Now, you would think that's a good pickup line, but unfortunately, it was a guy said it to me, not a girl. So a guy tried to riz me. And I was like, "Thank you for your compliment. That was some good game, but I don't swing that way, but thank you." Oh, boy. Rating a person low because they hate them well. Yeah, so I mean that's something I would like to investigate who did the ratings for the Sega Saturn version versus the Genesis version because I do think that's interesting. 2XKO has more depth than Clayton's beloved Alpha 1. Does it? With all the videos you got tucked away, you got to do spring cleaning of your computer and edit down whatever's stuck in the backlog. Yeah, well, I mean, the Dragon Ball Team Gohan videos would be seasons ago, so I mean, they're not even relevant anymore, but Dad, what's up, Lorenzo? So crazy seeing people just not accept your ability to sniff out the bullshit in fighting games. And then what happens, they're like, "Huh, yeah, people always hate it. It's ridiculous." It's hard to feel bad for the 2XKO devs when they had 10 years of cushy office chairs, Starbucks latte mornings, office party. Oh yeah, I totally agree. And now they're still complaining that they get 6 months of severance pay. They're going to get 6 months of severance pay and they're still complaining? That seems kind of weird, right? What are you complaining about? Wish we could see the players' numbers based, but it's not on stream. Is that true? I don't know. I don't follow the game on Steam, so I have no idea. This game should have been on Steam. Who wants to install Chinese spyware in the first place? Riot can throw out any player number they want, but the layout announcement tells that's lousy, yeah. Zero single player content, barely any characters, even for 1v1, that's 10-year dead time. Yep. Riot going to make a team of pro Smash players to make another fighting game failure after that, I imagine. Only thing I will give it is the visuals. Looks better than Temu looking City of the Wolves. I think Jordan not being in NBA Jam was some sort of right issues. Yeah, it could have been. I know, say there was the Wayne Gretzky hockey, and I know for Wayne Gretzky hockey, they didn't have like the team license, which was kind of weird. They could only use players, but they couldn't use teams. which is another thing. So here's another funny weird stat. So say for ESPN Hockey Night, no, not Hockey Night in Canada. All right, one of the ESPN SNES games, right? Like this just goes to show you, one of those guys, they love Larionov, right? Larionov is like he might be like the third best player in the game or some shit like that. And they even got his like stats wrong. He's like listed as like 6'2", 250 pounds for some reason. Like he's one of the best rated players in the game, and they like put like 5 inches on him and like 80 pounds on him for some reason. You know, and that might be another game. So say a weird game, say Larionov is it might be NHL 93. NHL 93, Larionov is one of the best rated players in that game when he was with Vancouver. He's rated better than like Jaromir Jagr. You know, he's I think only like Gretzky and Lemieux and a few other players are better rated than Larionov in that game. So sometimes the person doing the ratings just likes a certain player. Oh, was it? There was an interview from the Midway Dev, and apparently Jordan got his own cab with his likeness in it. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So I was going to say, I mean, I thought there was some version of the game that he wasn't even in it, right? But even if they released it earlier, the visuals would be more striking compared to Street Fighter V. Guy trying to riz you. Yeah. Seriously, that company did nothing but good for them. 100%. The layoff is scummy. Why is the layoff scummy? They got money for 10 years. Which they lied about, remember? They lied about it. They tried to say that the game was only being made 6 years. Now Pat the Flip got fired, and now he's saying, oh, it was 10 years. And even after admitting that, he's still going to get paid for another 6 months after he's been fired. And were you here when we read this new Pat the Flip interview where he called everybody else bigots besides him? He said that he doesn't want to share the world with bigots. And he doesn't want to play video games if anyone has ever listened to Joe Rogan before, and that these people shouldn't exist. I mean, I've never even seen that interview with him. That's appalling. Like, he's so fucking full of himself. Oh yeah, we went through this interview. I had never even seen this interview with Pat the Flip, but man, he really sounds like a fucking terrible person. Yeah, he's just it's ridiculous. I guess you'll have to watch the stream. We went through this interview, and he talks about how everyone else is a bigot and that he doesn't want to share the world with bigots and they shouldn't be able to play video games with him. And like, what a fucking asshole. JJG888N. What's going on, big guy? Entitled, spoiled, so-called devs. Did you see 16-year-old kid won Frosty with bleed? I didn't watch the Frosty thing. So no, I did not see it. Or well, I didn't. I saw some of the Guilty Gear thing because somebody showed me. But I didn't see all the 2XKO thing. I didn't see that. This is not a case of big, bad company abusing employees. CVS 3 or Dark... Oh, I'd rather have CVS 3. I don't care about Darkstalkers. Fish Ew 6692. Yo, what's up, Clayton? How are you doing? Getting close to ending the stream. We had I think we had 140 people in here earlier. This was kind of a big stream for a little bit. The rope is calling to Pat. Didn't hear that. Toxic positivity hugs and kisses over at 2XKO team. No idea was a bad idea. Now, not wanting to play with just regulars that even listen to Joe Rogan is crazy. Yeah. Pat has a weird video about politics and fighting games, and it's a master class. And maybe that's what the video is about. I'd never seen this interview, but a guy posted it, and it's a disturbing interview. He also talks about how he's able to beat people in debates because he was in a high school debating class, which I thought was funny because when Pat has tried to debate me in video games, he thinks the stuff I've done in video games is fake. So obviously he's not a very good debater. He's also is part of a team that tried to say that I fake cancer and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think Pat's master class and his high school debating has not served him very well. He also has been caught lying, saying that he wasn't making 2XKO for 10 years, which we've obviously seen is true because now that he's been fired, Now he agrees that he was on the game for 10 years. So his debating skills are not that good. They are quite fraudulent. I could believe that someone thought Lariano's stats shouldn't be that good because it was all in the mind with him. But that just means he should have had 95 offense awareness, if nothing else. Yeah, no. So I mean, I'm a big Lariano fanboy. Like I said, small world. But if you look at my channel, Urbe's kid used to post on my channel. Larionov's kids used to post on my channel. I didn't even know those were Larionov's kids posting on my channel when they did. I wish I would have because I would have loved to talk to them, right? But I didn't realize that was Larionov's kids posting on my channel back in the day. But Urbe's kid has posted on my channel before, and I've talked to him before, so that was kind of a cool small world kind of thing. But yeah, I always really liked the Sharks when I was a kid because I always kind of liked this idea that, I know there's, people hate Russia. Well, maybe people always hate Russia, it feels like, but I remember growing up, hockey night in Canada, and it was always that Russians are evil and only Canadians are good at hockey. And even as a kid, right, I was always like that, why do I have to hate Russia? Just because like Don Sherry tells me that I need to hate Russia. And I'm like, why do I have to hate Russia? I'm like, I just kind of like them, right? And I really like the Sharks because Urbe, if you're old enough to remember, Urbe had that kind of spazzy style where he was a sort of methodical stand-up goalie, but then he could bust out the most random, spectacular split save out of nowhere. And it was really cool for me as a kid to watch. And then if you remember the Sharks in 94, they beat the Red Wings. They almost beat Toronto. And at the time when they almost beat Toronto, Larionov was the best player of those playoffs, right? He was like leading the league, right? And it was so cool to me that you had that slow, methodical Larionov, who everyone said was too old to be good, and that they just beat the Red Wings. And Larionov had that really slow, methodical style. And the contrast of Urbe with the spazzy, random split saves was so cool to me. And so I really liked, watching that basically. Oh shit, we got a Russian speaker. Do you want me to speak Russian for you? Oh shit. Я научу тебя английскому. What is this? What is this Russian shit here? Oh my goodness. People are busting out the Russian here. Russia loves you too, Clayton. So anyway, yeah, so I had always thought that, why do I have to hate Russia? Why can't I like Russia? And that was my perspective as a kid. You're dying for was my Russian that bad? Я научу тебя английскому. No? Was that bad? Was that bad Russian? That's my pickup line for cute girls. Я научу тебя английскому, чтобы пойти с тобой на свидание. There you go. How did I do? How's my Russian? It was unexpected. I should bring out my fat Pikachu. Wait. Это мой толстый Pikachu. This is my fat Pikachu. Пожалуйста, чесать Pikachu Puziko? Rub Pikachu's belly? I don't know. Rub fat Pikachu's belly. I don't know. My Russian is terrible. But anyway. Yeah, so I really liked the Sharks back when I was younger. And I liked Larionov. He was my favorite player with Urbe. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Puziko. Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe Russia's not in the fucking Olympics. That's crazy. I wonder what Russian people and like the players are thinking that they're not allowed to be in the Olympics. That must suck. I don't know. That must suck for Russian people to not be able to like have like your country represented, you know, I'm not saying there's never any propaganda in Russia. Like, I'm not saying that, but you know, it must suck to not be able to have like your team, your country represented in the Olympics. It's probably got to be a terrible feeling. But anyway, yeah. So Urbe's kid, yeah, he posted on my channel because I was actually always like, because one of the things that was really disappointing for me is Larionov's farewell game. Urbe wasn't there, right? And I had always wondered why was Urbe not at Larionov's farewell game. And I was like, did they get into a fight? And so that was like when I found out he was Urbe's kid, I was like, bro, I gotta ask you, why was Urbe not at Larionov's farewell game? That like fucked with me. I'm like, did they secretly hate each other? And he's like, actually, I don't know. Let me go ask my dad. And then his dad was right there and we were talking. Well, I wasn't there with him when it was happening. He's like, I just asked my dad. My dad just told me he was busy, so he couldn't make it. He's like, but they're still friends. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay. So because I was like, damn, do they hate each other? And I didn't know this. I was like, but yeah, there's a small world story, I guess. And like I said, Larionov's kids actually used to post on my YouTube, but I didn't realize it was his kids at the time, unfortunately. Had I realized it, I would have loved to talk to Larionov's kids, but I didn't know it was them at the time. But yeah, so what are other hockey stories you might not know? So my mom, she used to run the cleaning business that used to work for a lot of the Red Wings. So that's why I have a number of the Red Wings autographs from back then. I got like Cincerelli, Probert, uh, McCarty. I think Chris Draper, I think too. So I mean, I have some of their autographs, but those are some old hockey stories. But yeah, I used to like hockey as a kid, but then just kind of grew out of it. All the players I like, you know, just don't play anymore. I think what really kind of ruined hockey for me was it was the one Red Wing versus the Penguin year. I don't remember, it was mid 2000s or something like that. And there was supposed to be a rule that if you drop your gloves in the final 60 seconds of a game, no matter what, you are suspended the next game, right? And it might have been Malkin or something. He dropped his gloves final 60 seconds of the game and they didn't suspend him the next game. And I was like, oh, they're just tired of the Red Wings winning. Yeah, they're just, and I'm like, it made it feel so cheap. Like watching a lot of the Red Wing games, the Red Wings would just win so much. And like I said, I'm not a homer. I don't care. Like the Red Wings, I'm loyal to the player, not the team. Right. So I'm not a homer, but you watch some of the Red Wing games, those late 90s, early 2000s when they were just so dominant and the refs like wanted the Red Wings to lose. Like there are some very, very bad calls. When you watch other games compared to some of the games that the Red Wings would have, it kind of felt like consistently it was like, oh, some of these calls are such bullshit. And I'm like, they're just tired of the Red Wings winning, you know? So that kind of ruined it. And yeah, say even that 2000 team, 2002, how did Urbe not win the Conn Smythe trophy? Like the Conn Smythe trophy, if you just go by the rules, the Conn Smythe trophy is supposed to go to the player who is most valuable to his team in the playoffs. And who won that year? Was it Lidstrom or something like that, right? You know? And I always say that 2002 Red Wing team, that was full of so many Hall of Famers. You could have lost one player and they probably still would have won. Whereas Urbe, the Carolina Hurricanes would not have made the finals if Urbe was not playing as good as he did. Urbe should have won the Conn Smythe trophy. So that was some bullshit. You know, I think was it Lidstrom that won 2002, and I'm like, this is bullshit. And I'm like, the Red Wings is just full of like Hall of Famer people. They could have lost Lidstrom and still probably won, right? I mean, come on. But yeah, no. So like I said, I'm not loyal to the team though. I'm loyal to the player. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a homer. You know what I mean? So that's why I was saying that. I would watch Red Wing games and I'm like, oh, this is BS. And I'm like, because you got to remember too, that was the time. Like, dude, they really hated Holmstrom too, right? Like, there were so many bad calls. Or how about this? Hockey is kind of like fucked up too. Think about the year that Dallas won. Brett Hull's skate was in the crease. Remember? And they came up with some rule, and they're like, "Oh well, yeah, his skate was in the crease, but we're going to say that technically he actually had possession of the puck, so we're going to let the goal stand." And it was like, "Oh, dude," and it's like, "Come on." I mean, that's when you start seeing things like that, that kind of it ruins it as an adult. Like when maybe you're a kid and you're into sports and you don't realize that everything is not 100% fair, it still is kind of fun. But when you get older and you start seeing that some of the stuff that happens is not always 100% fair, it kind of like cheapens it, right? Like that's why, again, like I'm not a homer for the Red Wings, but some of those things, like that Pittsburgh thing when Malkin dropped his gloves in the final 60 seconds, but then they didn't like suspend him the next game, and it's like, oh, they're just tired of the Red Wings winning, and it's just kind of like, stuff like that. It kind of cheapens it, and that's the year I think too that if you remember, Lidstrom played a game where somebody like speared him in the nuts and it exploded his testicle. Do you remember that? It sounds like Toasty, you remember some hockey. Do you remember that? Like Lidstrom like finished the game and he didn't realize that the spear exploded his testicle. I mean, what the fuck, dude? He got speared and it exploded one of his testicles. I mean, that's Jesus Christ. I don't even was the guy. I don't remember if the guy was. I don't remember if the guy was suspended him that speared him, but I just remember the story that Lidstrom found out. He went to the hospital after that, and it was like, yeah, my testicle exploded. Yeah. Dude, it's like, oh my God, it exploded his testicle, the spear. I don't remember. I'm going to wait. Now I got to look it up, dude. Fucking exploded his goddamn testicle, dude. Oh, fuck me. What are we talking about today? We aren't even talking about video games anymore. Lidstrom exploded testicle. In Game 3 of the 2009 Western Conference Final, Detroit Red Wing captain Nicholas Lidstrom suffered a severe testicle injury. It was described as a... Nicholas Lidstrom suffered a severe testicle injury, often described as a rupture or an explosion of the testicle. He was speared in the groin by Chicago Blackhawk winger Patrick Sharp. Lidstrom underwent emergency surgery to repair the damage. Yeah, like I said, despite the severe injury, he returned to play. He described it as his most painful injury. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Mom, I'm sure. Goddamn testicle exploded. Oh, Jesus, Mom. His testicle exploded. That's his face. This is Uncongable's face. Can you imagine this is Lidstrom's face for the rest of the game? Can you still go? I can still go, coach. Do you need to get your testicles checked? No. Check it after the game, coach. I'm still good. Oh, my God. He got Johnny caged. That's his face, dude, right? Oh, my God. Later on, he got checked, and just to find out your testicles completely exploded. That's literally probably Lidstrom's face right there. Let's get Lidstrom's face right there. This is probably his favorite. I can still go, coach. I can still go. That's. Are you sure? Do you want us to check out your testicle? No, I can still go. You got tears coming from your eyes, bro. It's okay. I can finish the game. Jesus Christ, dude. Explode his testicle. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck me. Where are we? Sorry. Simple characters with built-in mix and one core mechanic they're built around. Darius Ari. Self-sufficient characters that work better in one verse skin. Jinx, Echo, Yasuo. Influenced by Strive players like Apology Man. And then tag-oriented characters Blitz, V, Darius that don't work outside the tag game. This game has no direction. Yes, I mean, that is one of the problems with the game. The game has no real vision. Happened to my professor while he was doing an armband on someone. Your professor exploded their testicle? And while they were in an armband? What? Jesus Christ. The most painful testicle thing I've ever had is I've had epididymitis before, and that was very painful. That was I had chronic epididymitis for many months, and that was very painful. And that's actually how I found my tumor, because I had gotten epididymitis, and it was so painful. And I don't know if anyone else has ever had epididymitis, and I couldn't take antibiotics since I was dying from C. diff, and it just makes your nuts hurt. And it's like I remember it was even hard to walk sometimes. Like my nuts just hurt so bad. And then one day I was in the bath and I'm just like grabbing my nuts. And then I kind of felt down a little bit more. And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, wait a second, there's like a lump. And I was like, started feeling, more and more. I'm like, oh God, there's like a lump growing out of me too. And that's actually how I found my tumor. Right. So that's how that shit happened. You got your junk stepped on by a pony. I'm surprised a pony stepped on your nuts? Jesus, Mom. That's crazy. I work with a guy who had the same shit actually. He found it on a hike. He found a tumor on a hike while he was hiking. He just grabbed his balls and got a tumor. You must like South Park humor. I haven't seen South Park since I was young. I can't even remember the last time I saw South Park. Jeez, I don't even know. It's been many, many years since I've seen South Park, I think. Uh, I was checking a message I got. I'm about to get ready for bed, guys. If anyone ever wants to I'll give you guys like one more minute if anyone wants to donate to the channel, to the stream, to me, to support. I appreciate it. Thanks. Even if you don't support, I guess just tuning in was supportive, so I appreciate it. Or just call out the haters. That supports the channel too. I appreciate it when you guys do that. I'm going to fill up my water. I'll leave this on one more minute and then I'll bust out. Good night, Clayton and chat. Roman Stone, thank you. I call it your haters, but I think my friends at my local aren't too fond of you. Oh yeah, well I'm sure they probably made up some weird shit about me. How many streams have I had where I've invited my haters to come show that I'm a liar? You know, it's funny now that we know that Pat the Flip is a supposed master debater of his high school team. Why has Pat the Flip always had terrible arguments for everything he talks about? Why can't Pat the Flip actually debate me? That's kind of interesting, but anyway, no donations. Okay, I'll cry. But thanks to the people that did donate. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody that turned in. If you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. Super chat, PayPal, Patreon, super comment the video, super hype the video, super promote the video, whatever. Well, I think it's pretty funny that I'm a controversial person, but once again, how many times have I said, I tell you guys, play 2XKO, watch my haters, right? I think that's pretty funny that we saw this Pat the Flip thing. Hey, $5. Thanks, Lorenzo. I appreciate it. I think it's pretty funny that we saw this Pat the Flip interview where he talks about that he shouldn't have to live in a world with other bigots. He shouldn't have to live in a world where people are allowed to listen to Joe Rogan. And he shouldn't have to play video games with people that don't share his same beliefs. I can't believe that motherfucker said that. I mean, that's ridiculous. But guess what? I still tell people to watch my haters, but that's Pat the Flip, a master debater who will tell people like that. I'm sure he's obviously a very understanding individual. What a understanding individual it was for that fucking retarded fucking article we read today. Anyway, thanks again to everybody. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thanks, guys. Later.